But yes, we'll see what Shawnee can do out there today.
It's good. One of the busiest men in oval racing here in Cape Town. Frankie, with the flags always, Sean Cope, and I echo your sentiment. It's lovely to see Sean out there. We have about 8 of them going to be joining us. Yassine Darman, Andre Rowe, Craig Hume, Shane Boscombe, and Carl Halleck as well, who also every so often rides a motorcycle.
Well, Sean Cope's name does appear on the list together with Yassine Darman, but the two of them are not out there on track. Only 6 cars are out there on circuit, maybe 7 if Darman does pitch up. But yeah, the guys that are out there is the number 19 car of Ernest Page, the number 39 of Andrew Moffat, the number 31 of Carl Halleck, the 18 of Sean Boscombe, and then the 21 of Craig Hume. And then we should have the 74 car out there of Andre Rowe. He's relatively new to this class. It's the first time that I see that name, Andre Rowe. And hopefully we will have Yassine Darman out there. He does show as the 7th car on the list. A big thanks to Lime Property Management, the main sponsor for the 2024 Power Series. A big thanks to them. And then, of course, to Kaltron Electrical Engineering. They are the sponsor for this class. And then a big thanks to Smile 90.4 FM, playing more 80s than anyone else in Cape Town.
If you are new to watching events at Killarney, whether you're here or online, this is, of course, a 2-litre 8-valve engined formula, rear-wheel drive, fiberglass bodied, all based on the Opel Astra. Has been around for many a year now as well. We're talking about probably over 20 odd years, Frankie.
Yes, this formula started back in 1997. That was when they started here. And that same year that they started, a couple of months into that year, as we watched them roll out of Turn 5 Fostron, they did a trip to Port Elizabeth, to Scribanti. And the late Mr. Brian Peake and myself went up to Aldo Scribanti to do the commentary on them. But that was way, way, way back in the day when they were still sponsored by Gearmax. That shows you a long time ago it is. Okay, Byron, the head to the line. Lap 1 of 8, and the lights are on, and away they go.
Away we go, up towards Holzhoek, turn 1, an 8-lap race it will be, and there are 7 of them out there. Ernest Page will be challenged on the outside by Andrew Moffat, but they still go side by side through the turn, out of Holzhoek onto the Joubert Straight, and it looks like Ernest Page has solidified his lead for now, Frankie, into Castrol Corner. Carl Halleck will be in 3rd position at the moment. Buscombe right behind as they make their way through Castrol for the first time.
Yeah, that's one of the Line Property Management cars that sit there in a P4 as we watch them work their way through the kink towards Interceptor Corner. And it is now Moffat that's got his nose ahead. Oh, and Halleck has got his nose ahead there of Ernest Page. Page has gone down to P3 as they work their way out of turn 3 Interceptor Corner and race up the hill towards turn 4 Saddle Sweep, the double right-hander.
All close together as they are now. Down the back straight we will then run. It is that bright red machine of Andrew Moffat that leads Carl Halleck from the white machine of Ernest Page, the man who started on pole position, down towards Pertamina Fastron, turn 5. They will make their way. Look at how they're leaving the likes of Buscombe, Craig Hume, Andre Rowe, all behind there. As 6 of them made it out there, looks like it, Frankie. No Yassine Darman, and unfortunately no Sean Cope.
Yeah, it's a pity we haven't got Darman and Cope there. Through turn 5A, as they call it, down the home straight they go. Into turn number 1, it is Moffat from Halleck, from Page, from Boscombe, as they work their way into turn number 1. Then it's Craig Hume and Andre Rowe, as they all work their way through turn 1. And head now up the Joubert Straight towards turn 2 Castrol.
Let's see now, a little bit of an advantage being eked out there by Andrew Moffat on the Joubert Straight. Watch him under braking though, and looking like closing up from that 3rd place on 2nd is Ernest Page for now. A bit of a tighter line for Ernest Page out of turn 2, leaving the door slightly open there, Carl Halleck, as they make their way through the kink towards turn 3, Frankie.
Yeah, here comes the Line Property Management car of Boscombe. He sits there in P4 as you watch the leaders work their way through 3. Through Interceptor they go. Up the hill, and I must tell you this for nothing, that Page is right on the case of Halleck as they work their way into Sidle Sweep, and Moffat beginning to get away from the two of them. A little bit of a slide there by Halleck as they work their way down the back straight towards turn 5. Pertamina Fostron.
In the slipstream of Carl Halleck is Ernest Page to challenge for second position into turn 5. They will then run, but planted on that racing line is Carl Halleck. He's going to have to force a diving action there from Ernest Page.
Page had a look up on the inside of Halleck as they make their way out of turn 5, out of Fostron through turn 5A. That's what the marshals call it. That's the kink. Then they work their way across the line. Who's going to be the quickest man out there? One of them, it's Moffat. No, now it's Page. A 128.060 by Ernest Page as the three of them work their way through turn 1 through Holes Hook.
Yeah, trading sector times there, Frankie, as they go through turn 1 now. And not getting away from them is Andrew Moffat, a 128.4 compared to the 128.4 as well of Carl Halleck, a 128.0 of Ernest Page.
And that fight is still raging on here. Here comes Boscombe, making his way now towards a turn 2. Behind him is Craig Human. Right on the case of Hume is a 74 car of Andre Rowe as the leaders are working their way through Interceptor corner. Moffat is beginning to now really get away from Halleck because Halleck has now gone into defense mode as they work their way up the hill towards Sidle Sweep to try and keep Ernest Page behind him.
A 128.060, the fastest lap by Ernest Page. The top three are all in the 128s, separated by about 0.4 of a second on the lap. Now, down the back straight as we go. 6 cars started this race, 6 cars still in it. And again, a look on the inside there from Ernest Page. Frankie, is he going to be side by side with Carl Halleck? They will be knocking paint, you could say, on that fiberglass, and he'll take second.
Yeah, he goes up to P2, does Ernest Page. He was almost in the water there on the inside there by the cones, but Page does move up to second position. Now, will he close the gap up onto the leader? Well, it's only 0.3 of a second behind him, and Halleck is looking up on the inside of Page, and Halleck will retake that second spot away from Page, working the way out of turn 1, out of holes.
Yeah, Page has caught him out of the corner of his eye over there now, but now a little bit of a moment from Halleck I saw there on the exit of the turn 1.
This is Shane Boscombe making his way into turn number 1. Right behind him is Craig Human. Right on his case is a 74 of Andre Rowe as the leaders work their way through the kink and into turn 3 Interceptor.
A little bit more of an advantage now from Moffat. He crossed the line 0.3 of a second ahead of Ernest Page, but he's lighting up the sector times. Was Ernest Page on that last lap, all purple sectors when he was in that second, which he is still now. So still time left, Frankie. We've got 5 laps left to go, including the one they're on. Still plenty of racing to come as they come onto the back straight.
Up down the back main they go, and now Page has secured that second spot from Halleck. That is losing a little bit of ground to Page as they race down towards turn 5, towards Pertamina Fostron. And we'll have a look and see when they cross the line how close he will be. Ernest Page very late on the brakes, making his way through Fostron. And he is now hassling Moffat big time as they work their way through 5A and towards the start-finish line.
They'll cross the start-finish line. 4 laps left to go as we go to Buscombe. That is in 4th position at the moment. He's got a considerable 6.5 second advantage over Hume, who in turn has a 2.2 second advantage over Rowe. But here we go, back to the leaders now, Frankie, through turn 1, Holes Hook.
Yeah, out of holes they come, and Ernest Page was only 0.4 of a second behind Moffat when they started this lap. He's now crowding that bootlet of that Moffat Opel supercar. Into turn 2, Castell corner they go, and it's a bit of a wide line there for Moffat. He's left the farm gate wide open there for Ernest Page, but he's covering that line neatly. But Page will have the line for turn 3, but he pulls in there behind Moffat as they work their way out of Interceptor.
I have been noticing, Frankie, that on exit, Andrew Moffat is going quite wide at times. A nice tight lines coming from Ernest Page over here, using every ounce of experience. But remember, they're both experienced campaigners, as losing touch with the 2 ahead of him is Carl Halleck. Is he slowing?
Yeah, but it was 5 seconds behind Page when they started that lap, and he's now really, really slow. Down into turn 5, Fostron. They must be careful of that dam of water there, these guys. And Page wants it. Page wants it big time. When they cross the line, they will have 3 more laps to go, and he's right on his case. There is Carl Halleck. Yes, he is visually slow. Is Halleck as Page? Will Page dive to the inside? Surely Page must have a lunge towards the inside before they go to turn 1. He does not. He does not, and he was only a 1/10 of a second behind him, Byron, when they started this lap, working their way now out of turn 1 holes.
Took 3/10 out of Andrew Moffat on the last lap. Ernest Page, a 1:27.367 is the fastest lap of the race recorded on that last lap.
And as we watch the leaders, just to mention that Carl Halleck, that sat there in P3, has pulled into the pit area. He was very slow, so clearly a problem out there for Halleck, which means Boscombe will move up into that 3rd spot. You watch the leaders now coming out of 3. Interceptor up the Tigerberg straight. They run towards a double right-hander sidle sweep, and it's still Moffat that's fighting off the intentions of Ernest Page.
Yeah, Shane Boscombe, he is about some 28 seconds back of the 2 ahead of him there, who are battling it out in a royal fashion as they go down the back straight now towards turn 5. Pertamina Fastron, just a little bit of an advantage on this last lap. Looks like it from Andrew Moffat. A 27.6 the last time for him, a 27.3 for Ernest Page behind him. We'll check them now as they come across the line to complete another lap.
Which currently is a quickest lap, a 1:27.367 by Ernest Page. But we'll have a look now. Will that still stand? Or will there be another quickest lap by one of them?
Andrew Moffat.
It's a 1:27.282 for Andrew Moffat. So he's the quickest man. And there was 0.2 of a second between them as they worked their way through turn 1.
Yes, 0.2 of a second faster, Frankie, in that second sector. He's 1/10 over the lap faster than Ernest Page. It's nose to tail. It's the penultimate lap. He looks around the outside. He's not close enough yet. He's not going to do anything there. Do I see spots of rain on the camera?
Yeah, spots around on the camera. Let's have a look. See, Table Mountain's completely disappeared as Boscombe makes his way into turn number 1. That's an 18 car sponsored by Lime Property Management. Here comes a Shane Boscombe. We'll wait for Craig Hume. Here comes Craig Hume across the line now. And then we should still see Halleck. No, Halleck has disappeared. Andre Rowe will take the start of the next lap. However, there's a lap and a bit to go for our leaders. That's working their way into turn number 5, into Fostron corner, and Byram, there's nothing between the 2 of them, and Page lunges up on the inside of Moffat. Goes a touch wide. Will he give that lead back to Moffat? No, for now, it's still Page that holds. And when they cross the line, it will be their final lap.
Oh, this is going to be a humdinger of a lap, Frankie. Already going defensive there is Ernest Page, forcing Andrew Moffat to go the long way around as they charge up towards turn 1 now. You could say they're trading paint, if you could say they're trading door handles, if you could, knocking door handles, if you could say that. But Ernest Page will keep it ahead for now onto the Joubert straight, but shadowing him, Frankie. Andrew Moffat, a 1:26.8 for Ernest Page on that last lap.
Yeah, he was the quickest man on that penultimate lap. Now they're on their final lap, working their way out of Castrol corner, out of turn 2 towards the kink. That's going to be a heck of a fight with a half a lap to go between the 2 of them into Interceptor corner. I think Page might have made the move a little bit too soon, because if Moffat can stay where he is, going down into turn 5, he might be able to have a dive on Page before they get through Fostron.
Last chance coming up then for Andrew Moffat to make any sort of a move on the lead. You can see keeping himself in the middle of the straight there, Ernest Page, again forcing the bright red machine to go around the outside into turn 5, Pertamina Fastron. Watch them as they come up here now, and it's side by side. He actually changed to the inside line, Ernest Page, and he keeps it there ahead.
Oh, he was trying to run him out wide there. There was no ways that Page was going to give this one away. Ooh. And they're going to be very close to the checkered flag. He dives, he lunges, but Page is going to get it. Page gets it by 1/10 of a second, 0.137 to be exact.
And they were trading on that last lap, Frankie, sector times. Sectors 1 and 3 by Ernest Page. Sector 2 by Andrew Morford by only 1/10 of a second. As we go down the back straight now, we have Buscombe that is in third position. Inherited that third position, but well-deserved nonetheless. The Lime Properties man that will come into turn 5 now on his own lonesome. And a confident race from the man in silver and green.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Toward the checkered flag comes third place man. That's Shane Boscombe working his way to the checkered flag. He will finish in a lonely third spot. And he is 47.5 seconds behind the leader as we wait for Craig Hume to work his way to the flag. Here comes Craig in fourth spot. Crossing the line now is Craig, and he's 13.4 seconds behind the 18 car of Boscombe.
Yeah, the last one Andre Rowe.
Yes, one more man to the flag, Byron. That will be Andre Rowe.
Yeah, Andre Rowe, he brings himself in to complete 8 out of 8. And that was our 5 classified finisher. Unfortunately, Halleck having to slow and come into the pits. And hopefully we could see later the likes of Sean Cope and Yassine Darman, fingers crossed over there. But yes, 6 cars in it and some exciting racing there, Frankie.
Yeah, and Rowe was 14.3 seconds behind Craig Hume. So yes, only 6 cars took the light or the flag, whatever you like to call it, but a great fight up front between Page and Moffat with 0.137 seconds separating them. That was the Kaltron Formula Supercars.